now. All right, cool. So we're just gonna get into it today. Let me get my screen going. Share my screen. Okay, cool. So if you can see my screen here, put a number 1 in the chat. Let me get the chat out. Put a number 1 in the chat. Perfect. Can you guys see the chat box or like the faces, or you just see my screen, like the lesson? I'm not sure how that works. As much as I do with technology, I'm so technologically challenged. Okay, you and the screen. Okay, perfect. Okay, cool. So let's get into it. I have a big lesson today, so I really don't want to take up too much time, so we can ask questions at the end. But we're going to talk about 4 mistakes that I made that you need to avoid in order to get better long-term results. So as you might have known my story, I've gone through it all, the millions of diets, the on and off, the chronics, the making mistakes and making my journey drag on for way too long and having too much stress. So I want you to avoid all of that. And luckily for you all, you're in this program, you're taking action already. So you're 1 step ahead already. So we can just get right into it with the mistakes. This one might not be a surprise that I will mention because I probably heard me say it before. But mistake number 1, focusing too much on fat loss during workouts and your pictures. So this one thing here is really going to, I think we put so much like glory on the fat loss process. And when we have that mentality of just losing fat, working out to lose fat, to get smaller, we're actually doing the opposite for our results. So, but by just shifting that mindset shift, or just by making that mindset shift, you are going to start seeing better results with your physique overall. And I'll kind of show you some examples. We'll start with the pictures of things. So this is me a couple years ago, little mini me. And when I started taking my pictures, I actually have some before this, but these are like the only 3 that I can find where I have the actual like 3 angles. All of my pictures, I look absolutely miserable in. I look like I don't love this. I don't want to be here. I don't love my body. I'm just here, not showing any muscle. My biggest thing was my midsection. So as you can see, that's all I really cared about. And that's how my pictures were. So for some of you, I've had you retake your photos. I've pushed you to have some flex pictures instead, because making that mindset shift and focusing on different things is what is ultimately going to get you where you want to be, which is changing your physique and looking leaner and looking stronger. All right, so eventually when I went through my first cut, I did make some weight loss progress, and you can see it here. But if I was trying to see any type of muscle gains, was I gaining in my glutes? How are my arms? My back kind of looks exactly the same. There's really no progress to be made. So unless I'm hyper focused on just my midsection, I would think that I'm really not making any progress at all. And as you probably realize, your body will lose fat in so many areas. So sometimes you're losing fat and it's in your back. You're like, oh my God, I'm not making progress. And then you look at your back and you're like, oh shit, well, you can't see your back every day. So we have to start seeing progress in different areas, right? And another reason that we don't want to focus on just losing fat, because a lot of you want to look toned. Well, honestly, most of everybody here wants to look toned, wants to look strong. But when we are focused on fat loss, when we are focused on burning, when we are focusing on getting smaller, on things like that, happens exactly how it happened to me. I just got super small, chasing this 6-pack that honestly, my midsection has always looked the same. So when we are focusing on this, you're really not going to feel that power. You're not going to have that muscle. You're still not going to have that tone. By making that shift to getting stronger, I think this was when I was like, all right, I'm over this. Like, I don't fit into my clothes. I still don't see my muscle. I want to see my muscle. I want to be strong. And then eventually, right, as you can see in the progress pictures, I started to notice things in different areas, and my training changed. Not necessarily the training like program, but it's the intensity, the amount I was fueling my body, the way that I was showing up. And literally I was just like, close my eyes. I don't want to focus on anything other than becoming the strongest I possibly can in every single lift. And it makes the process a lot more fun. So one thing that I can tell old me is that she wants to be this strong girl. She wants to be this like muscle all over core type back, but the mentality that she's coming into training is not defining that. And that is the reason that instead of having that muscle, instead of having that back definition, instead of having an actual tight core here, I started going in the opposite direction of just kind of like getting small and still looking for shoulders. Like, girl, you got no shoulders. Like, there's literally no muscle on you. So that small shift. I just want to show you an example here. So the transformation from this to this took me a couple of years. I think it was like 4 or 5 years, I would say. And I just want to compare it to Anna's journey. You guys see her a lot on my story. And I love her journey because she is really good at taking advice. And she's really good at not making all the mistakes that I made. And obviously she's with me every day, so I don't allow her to do that. But the thing that I really take from her is that when she goes into training, ever since the beginning, she just wanted to get stronger. And even though that she was like, Nicole, should I cut my calories? Should I eat less? Should I do this? And I just kept her like real simple, like how I keep all of you, real simple. That actually made her have bigger progress in 2 years. Whereas for me, it took me several years, right? So from here to here is just 2 years. And we can see again, focusing on building your body rather than just kind of getting small as a whole. And that's just us. So mistake 2 and 3, before I get into mistake 2 and 3, I want to give you the statistic. 95% of people who successfully lose fat will gain their weight back, will gain the weight that they lost back within 3 years. 30 to 65% of those individuals who lose the weight will gain the weight back, but will actually gain more weight than they lost, putting them at a heavier weight than when they originally started. So in order to avoid that, in order to not fall into the 95% and become one of the 5%, the mistake number 2 and 3 are going to be super crucial. And it's going to hopefully get you a little bit more patient with this process as a whole. So number 2 is not optimizing my metabolism with a reverse phase. And this is phasing your diet, right? We've kind of I've talked about this with most of you of how we're going to go through phases. So the reverse phase, once you actually lose some fat, how are you going to keep that off? All right, I've shown you this, and it is the act of getting your calories up to a more sustainable maintenance for your body to actually respond. Now, what happens if we don't reverse? You've lost the weight, I got it, I'm good to go, like I'm good here. What happens if you don't put that effort to getting your metabolism up and to be able to thrive off of more food? So a couple of things is metabolic adaptation. So you might have heard this of slowing down your metabolism, metabolic damage. There's a bunch of different ways to talk about this, but it really is just your body adapting. And some of these are more like severe and some of these are kind of silly. Like when I think about it, I'm like, we're really trying to eat less to have our body do those silliest things. So the first one is your NEAT, which is non-exercise activity thermogenesis. This is basically saying like the less energy that you're taking in, the less energy that you're going to give out. But it's so minimal, the things that it will do, like the speed that you're talking. Your body will slow down the speed that you're talking. It will talk less. It will stand less. It will blink less. It'll move your hands less. Like if I was really had a really slow metabolism, I wouldn't be here like this. I wouldn't be talking at this speed. I would probably be sitting here like this because my body will adapt to that. Problem is, a lot of us, we won't notice that we're feeling that way because we're kind of just surviving instead of thriving. All right, so that's the first one. The second one is a little bit more severe, and it is indirect hormone reduction. So having a very low calorie intake for a significant amount of time or not getting out of that deficit is really putting harm to your hormones. So for your thyroid, your testosterone, for your leptin, it will lower them. It will increase cortisol and ghrelin. And this is really just lowering your reproduction. It's increasing your stress hormones, and it's throwing off all of your hunger hormones and really just delaying like the process that controls your metabolism directly. So if you have felt like, oh, I don't really ever get hungry, but you also don't eat, this is a sign of that. Your hunger hormones are all thrown off. If you've been in a diet for too long and you're starving all the time, your hunger hormones are all thrown off. They want more food, right? This can get a little bit more severe. And this was the part that really kind of scared me when I got like really, really small and I wasn't eating enough. It was just like, I had a really big fear of losing my period. And it can get to that point if we keep calories really, really low. So that's why it's so important to make sure we're always reversing and getting your body to thrive. Next thing is going to be your power output. We're all for getting strong, but your performance in the gym is going to lower because you're not going to have as much energy. You're not going to be able to fill your muscles with enough glycogen to have that pump, to push through sets, to push stronger loads. And ultimately, we all want to get strong here. And lastly is the thermic effect of food. So this is basically the amount of calories you're burning by just eating more food. So again, eating more food is helping you thrive and you're burning more calories. It's kind of like protein. You guys increase your protein and it's like, wow, I'm getting so full. And then metabolism starts working faster because your body is just putting more effort to digest. And food is good. So why would we not want to eat more food? That's my opinion. Food is love. So the things that can happen, right, if we're not reversing our calories, a couple things. One is you can kind of say like, fuck it. At some point, it's going to get unsustainable. 1,400 calories, whatever amount of calories, 1,300 calories. Fuck it, and then you're back in the 95%. You just binge, you miss all of the foods that you've been eating, and since your metabolism is so slow, boom, we gain all the fat back. The second thing is kind of just surviving off minimal calories and not thriving. You're functioning on a day-to-day, but really is your energy there? Are you that high energy person that you really want to be? And then the last thing can be more serious, which is fatigue and some health issues. And just like another point, I like to compare Anna and I. We had very different journeys, but very similar body types right now. At some point, because of the issues that I have had with chronic dieting in the past, it has made future dieting more complicated for me. So now I'm in a process. I've been maintaining for about like a year, 2 years. I've just been like chilling because I really, really want to restore this. Because when I tell you I did every single diet in the book, like high school Nicole did not want to eat. So when it took me to get like into a leaner physique, and when I wanted to get a second cut, from getting from here to here, I had to go as low as 1,400 calories. Whereas for Anna, when she went from here to here, which this is like nuts, this transformation she had, she was able to do it on 1,800 calories, thriving off a lot of more food. Whereas somebody who had a chronic dieting history isn't really thriving off of that food. So we really, again, the importance, do not do what I do. I really wish I can tell my last self or my past self that like, just eat. I wish it could be that simple, but little things like this. Mistake number 3 is not being patient to learn and set into maintenance. So this is again how we are going to fall into the 5% and not the 95% of people that gain the weight back. And this is that diet freedom, the diet freedom that we love to talk about. And I think this is the most overlooked point of your nutrition journey is your maintenance phase. I love maintenance phases. And for me, it really was something that broke me out of dieting and thinking low calorie mindset, was just tracking at maintenance. Right now, maintenance or tracking can seem like a drag because you might get hungry, you don't have space for things. But when you track at maintenance, you have a candy bar, you have like extra this, you go out to eat, like everything kind of fits. Like you have so much room. And when you start to see that and feel that, you start to understand the sense of that diet freedom because you can really fit everything. Want to get a slice of pizza for lunch? You can like eat later and you have still a lot of calories to go because your calories are so high, but now you're starting to see it. So I just want to give you an example here of like dieting phases versus maintenance phases. All right, these two meals, they're very different. So you'll notice on the left, not a lot of carbs, but on the right, much bigger, much fuller meals. I'm sure if like a lot of you saw this massive sandwich and you were eating it, you would be like, oh no, that's too much food. Like I'm going to gain weight. It's too much. But realistically, you can eat this much. You can have a lot on a day-to-day. You can have carbs in every single meal. And when you go into that maintenance phase, it's actually visually seeing it. I think that was the scariest part for me because like, I'm like tracking my nutrition. I'm on 2,200 calories. I've never done this before. And I'm looking at all my meals and I'm like, holy shit, there's so much in there. Like I even could drizzle some oil on it and it's totally fine. But it's mentally and seeing it or visually seeing it that will set yourself up for a future of having that diet-free lifestyle because you're already used to it. So when we lose weight, your fat cells reserves are drained to fuel your body, but the cells itself will remain. That is why it's so easy for people to regain the weight. So in order to not regain the weight, in order to not put yourself in that position, spend some time understanding, like, how much can I eat every single day? What's it like to have 2,200 calories every single day? What does that look like? What does it feel like? Right? What ingredients can I have? How different are my meals than they are now? So overall with this part, be patient. So get to your maintenance, learn and see what it really, really looks like. Get over the fear that you are eating too much because your meals have more ingredients, more fuel in general, more random, like a cookie at night, more desserts, more fun. Allow that maintenance to create homeostasis for your body. Because right now, none of you are at homeostasis. You're all trying to change your body. So we want our body to actually like regulate and have some type of homeostasis. Do we have any questions before I move forward? I know I've just ranted and I always forget to ask questions. So do we have any questions? Before I get into the last one, I usually just open it up at the end. But if you have questions, you can either unmute yourself or you can put in the chat. Okay, cool. All right, and then mistake number 4, this is not paying attention to nutrient diversity and really optimizing digestion. So this was such a sad meal. I'm so happy I have this picture, but I look at it and again, like, oh, Nicole, I am so sorry I did this to you. Like, this is the kinds of meal that I was having. Egg whites, a piece of toast, and some jelly. Because I thought egg whites was going to help me lose fat. I thought less was more, less was better. And it's just a whole lot of nothing. And it looks so sad. And it really wasn't doing much for my body. Right. And now when we change it, now it's adding more to your meals, adding some spinach, adding some peppers. I have like a eggplant pepper spread on there, adding some mushrooms, adding seeds, adding more ingredients is going to help with your digestion overall. So we want our meals to be filled with colors. We want our weeks to be filled with diversity. I want you to start to try to add new ingredients. You don't have to think that like egg whites is just a key. We want to have full eggs. We want to have more is always better. So digestion plays a role in your mood, in your energy, in your skin, in bloating, something that I definitely struggled with, and just weight loss resistance. We don't want to put ourselves in a position where we are having gut issues. And you're all very high performing women, and high performing people in general will have issues with gut health because of the stress that they are putting on their body. And by us not taking in these nutrients and not really balancing out that stress, we are causing our body to have digestion issues. This is the ebook that some of you probably already got it, or if you haven't gotten to that part of the program, you'll get it eventually. But this ebook that you will get will just explain to you some foods that you can add, vitamins, the benefits of things. So just like wanted to show that so that you can take a look at what things you can start to add to your diet. And something that is coming soon, which I'm really excited about, is our assistant coach, Amra. Most of you have already met her, but she is going to be doing a digestive optimization. It's going to be a couple weeks course. So each week she's going to take you through things that you can add to your diet, ways that you can have like your green shake in the morning, and how you can start to add more ingredients to promote healthier digestion. So that's something that's coming soon. I just wanted to get you guys a little excited for that. So yeah, but something that you can do with this, how we can improve digestion, how we can add more nutrients. And I have found it to be the simplest method for me. Every time you go to the grocery store, get a new ingredient, try something new. It being seeds, it being a new vegetable, it being new fruit. Every time you go, try something new and then rotate these things. So you're kind of, it's impossible to have every single food every single day or every week, because that's too complicated and all your food's going to go bad in your fridge. But when we start rotating it week to week, it becomes a lot simpler. So if you've been doing white rice, do quinoa or do couscous. If you're doing white potatoes, try some sweet potatoes. If you're doing the same 3 vegetables, try a couple more. But every time you go in, try a new one. My recent one is hemp seeds. I love hemp seeds. So I've been adding that onto meals. And then next time I go, I just try to get curious and start adding things to your meals. So every time you go in, try something so it's not so overwhelming. And just to recap, 4 things that we want to focus on. Number 1 is focusing on strength and muscle during your workouts and not fat loss. If you want to transform your body, not today, not tomorrow, not this week, not a month, not 6 months, but over the course of years, becoming the strongest version of yourself today is going to take you there. And once that I made that shift, my body absolutely skyrocketed. Right? So push yourself and get stronger. Stronger. Second one, optimize your metabolism. Make sure that you are not skipping your reverse phase, just pre-phasing you for what is to come. Set in at maintenance, get curious. How much can I eat without gaining weight? Right? Get over the fear of this being too much food for me. And then the last one is to add more to optimize your digestion. More is better, not less is better, as diet culture has oh so lovely made us believe. So, do we have any questions? Hemp milk is delicious. Ooh, hemp milk. I've never had that. I didn't even know that was a thing, actually. I'm on almond milk right now. I love almond milk. Hemp milk, but I will try that. Do we have any questions on any of this? You can unmute yourself or you can put it in the chat. There's protein oat milk. Ooh. Protein oat milk by Califia Farms. Huh. ShopRite. I'm writing that down. Ooh. I used to drink oat milk, but I haven't drank it in a while. All right, any questions on anything that we've spoken about so far? I'll stop sharing my screen. No, okay. So real quick, put in the chat something that you feel that resonated with you in this presentation. Maybe something that you learned and that you feel that I need to really implement on this. So let's start. What is it? Active learning? No. I don't know the word I'm looking for. So in the chat, one takeaway, one thing that you learned today, one thing that you need to take action on. Introducing new foods and getting into a food routine. Yes. My favorite part is on reverse. I know, Randy, you're on this process, the reverse right now. As your calories are going up, really just start to get curious with new things, because then you get an extra 100 calories. What are like an extra 100 calories I can add of a different bread, of a different ingredient? Getting over the fear of adding more ingredients to daily meals to not have the same foods. Yes, it really is. Like, I think we just get nervous, especially like when you have been tracking on low calories, because you think like, oh my God, peanut butter, it doesn't fit. Like, I shouldn't be having peanut butter, it's too high in calories, but like, add more. Every time you add more, just think of, change the mentality of it being like, oh, I'm adding more calories to I'm adding more nutrients. That's what I kind of try to focus on. And it takes the stress away from like, oh, this is going to be bad for me in a sense. Is normal during reverse to have more cravings? Yes. Your body right now wants it all. And it starts to like really put out more energy. So you'll probably notice like, oh, I want to get up and clean the house like randomly. Like, why? But it's just because you're getting in more energy that your body's asking for more energy. So definitely normal. But as we get calories, it'll settle down more. eat more. I've been eating more and now getting more protein in, but as I kept working out, I'm just so hungry. So I definitely need to start adding more ingredients into all of my meals. 100% working out is definitely going to promote that. We are working on getting your calories up as well. And adding more variety, adding more nutrients is also great to keep you full. So adding more fats, adding more seeds, adding different things. Like you can only, if you had like another thing of rice, it's only going to keep you so full. But when we start to make that meal look a little prettier, all of those things are going to help with your with staying full. Focusing on losing fat puts me in a funky state and honestly has been making me feel a little discomfort about my progress, but I'm working on shifting that mindset. Yes. It's a slow, like it really is a slow journey. And when we take it slow, you not only keep your body at a healthier place, but you make more progress in the long run. I know we don't want to think of like, where am I going to be 2 years from now? But what if you did? Like when we focus on that, it does put us in a funky state. But imagine if instead, I want you to think of every time you go into the gym, don't even think about food. Don't think about like, I'm burning this, I'm doing that, I'm trying to achieve this. Like close off any possible idea that you have with food, close off any other goal and really just get strong. Then you go in there and how can you be in a funky mood if like, oh shit, I just squatted like 10 extra pounds. Like I just hip thrust. She hit what was it, 275 on a hip thrust? Like, even though you're trying to change your body composition, maybe it's not happening, but when we start to see that positivity, it just keeps us going in other ways. Diversity, my foods to optimize digestion. I definitely need to focus on this more. Yes, I'm excited to get your calories up, girl. So you will be adding more to your meals. Definitely during the day, fat loss process, and throughout this journey, I have just looked in the mirror, trying to figure out where things have been changing, but definitely need to hear the yes, I'm making. Yes, changes really do happen. And it's funny because when you see your body like now and in a month, it's not really too crazy. But when we see our bodies now in 3 and 6 months versus now in a year, that's where we start to see those changes. And look at little things. Like I would love for each one of you to flex so hard in all of your pictures so that you can be like, oh, like I see like my lats coming in, like little things like that. It makes a big difference because I've made a lot of you retake it, but like these pictures that you're giving me where you're standing like this and you're like sad, I'm gonna be like, no, I'm gonna start like deleting them and telling you like retake them. Have fun, show off your muscles. You guys are so strong and it's so much more exciting when I can see a little quad coming in. Nicole does this for sure. She's like sent me a video with her wings, her lats coming in. I was so hyped. Focusing on strength rather than thinking of losing weight and thinking of how much fat I'm losing. It's easy to fall into that mindset. Yes, this whole journey needs to be abundance. More nutrients is abundance. More food is abundance. More strength is abundance. More effort that you're putting into yourself, more time, more mental health. All of this is abundance. This is not by any means to get any of you smaller. The word small, even if yes, you're losing some fat in other areas, technically it's getting smaller. None of you are getting smaller. You're all getting bigger. You are all getting more powerful and you are all getting more abundant. Oh, that one got me hot. All right. Any other questions? Do we have questions on either this, or if you want to share something that maybe has been a shift for you that you feel like, oh, this can help somebody else, you can unmute yourself, you can type it out. I'm sweating right now. If you would like to unmute, if you feel like you're further on in the journey and you want to share for somebody that's new. Randy, yes.
One thing that has really stood out to me is like, I always thought I had to do more cardio to get toned or to lose weight. And that's been such a huge takeaway in this program. Like, you know, we're still doing some cardio days, but the strength training aspect of it has been brand new for me. And I feel like I've changed my body in so much more of a way than I ever have when I was just focusing on cardio. So that's just like an overall takeaway I've had so far.
I love that. And is it more fun for you?
So much more fun.
So
I
much more
look
fun.
forward to my gym days so much.
Yes. There's only so much that you can progress with cardio. Like it's like, oh, I did an extra 10 minutes, or like I increased like a incline, I went a little faster, but like adding 5 pounds, adding 10 pounds, adding 50 pounds to like a squat, to a deadlift, that's fun. I think it's fun. Appreciate you sharing that. Anybody else want to share any advice for newer members?
So this isn't really like I'm still kind of new, but one of the biggest things that like helped me a lot and like progress in weight is actually making friends in the gym and like talking to people, because like they're gonna be like one of your biggest like hype people, along with like yourself and obviously Nicole, because like they're actually there with you, and they like cheer you on as you add weight and like help you put on weight. So it's gym communities are actually very, very, very helpful to your progress.
I love that. I also think this is why, if you're not feeling your gym date, start going to new gyms and start to feel the vibe, because that vibe is really like, I went to one, I felt like nobody wanted to be there, and I was like, oh, I'm never coming back here again. But it really is like that. People around, like, just be nice. Just be like, especially there's not a lot of women. Well, sometimes we have like a couple, but like when there's some there, I'm a little shy. I don't know if it's like the fitness coach in me that doesn't want to seem like I'm trying to like, I don't know. But when people say like, oh, that was a good lift, like I get so happy. And when I get to talk and communicate with people. So if you haven't done that yet, start with like a little thing. Just be like, oh, nice set. Sometimes I'll ask people like, oh, where'd you get your shoes? And then slowly you start to make new friends, but they really do cheer you on. So I love, love, love that you did that. Anybody else want to share? Feel free to unmute. Such a good point. Yes, it's okay to be shy in the gym. It's I'm like a compliment person. I just, if I kind of want to, like, if I see somebody a lot, I just be like, oh, nice shoes. So I kind of break off like the communication there. But like even things like, how many sets do you have left? Don't ever be shy to ask. Like, just ask. Can I work in with you? I like working with the high school boys. I'm like, yeah, I'm doing more weight than you. Cool. All right. Any last minute questions? Any last minute anything before we wrap up? We're gonna end off with some positivity, and then I will let you on for your day or for your night. No. All right. So in the chat, let's put, what is one thing that we can put? I'm trying to think of a new one. All right. In the chat, put a personal record that you are going to hit in the gym. A personal record that you are going to hit in the gym. Always ask for a spot, especially if you feel strong. Yes, Nicole, definitely ask for a spot. When Anna's not there, I'm like looking around trying to find a spot. So personal record that you are going to hit in the gym. Mine is going to be this week. It could be this week. It could be this month or this block, whatever you're feeling. Mine is going to be 10 pull-ups. I think I got 9 or like 8 3/4. Almost there. 10 pull-ups. 225 on deadlift. Yes, 1 rep yesterday, but going to rep it either Friday or next week. I love that. Keep me posted. I will do a pull-up. Yes, I cannot wait. The push-ups, you got it down, but the pull-up is coming. Love that. More than 7 push-ups, shooting for 10. Okay. Ooh, that's exciting. I love that. Start doing them. Start doing them more often, Sarah. Bang them out after like every workout. Just at the end of workouts. That's how I got from like 0 to not 0 to 20, but really when I was on a mission for it to go from 0 to 20, I would just bang them out after all workouts. Aiming to push myself to up my deadlifts to 145. Okay, cool. I love this. All right, so keep me posted with all of these. Did anybody miss one? If you want to put one in there. I think Sam, maybe you're still thinking of one. I want to see what your squat is going to be. That one. It's going to be super exciting. So if you want to put it in there, I'm going to close to pull up. Yes, the pull up. I can't wait. I just want everybody to just, once you get one, they just snowball. And then you hit like a sticking point and then they snowball again. All right. So I will let you guys go. 245 on squat. Shit. Okay. Damn. One day. All right. I love that. I'm catching up. I love that. Look, keep me posted. So I got all your numbers here. Already hit 235. That's fucking amazing. I am so hyped. Keep me posted with that. We got a lot on here. Focusing on, I think she put that again. All right. So I will let you guys go. Have a wonderful day. Have a very, very strong end of your week. And I will talk to you all very soon. We have a call. Put in your calendar right now. We have a call next week. Next week, we are going to be talking about all things Thanksgiving and eating over the holidays and habits that we're going to be setting to make sure that you're diet free throughout the holidays, but also staying within your goals. Continue doing my new workouts, even though sometimes I look funny. Remember, everyone's doing their own thing. That is true. I feel like I always look funny, but then I look around and no one's looking at me. I'm like schizophrenic in the gym. I have my like tripod there and I'm literally talking to no one. So if you guys ever think you look crazy, just know I look crazier. So I got you. All right, girls, I will talk to you soon. Have a wonderful night.
Good night.